and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries. 100 Andromeda mysteries, looping softly, endlessly through the night. Tonight we'll drift through the moment Andromeda first emerged from cosmic darkness. The silent collision already unfolding between Andromeda and the Milky Way. The ancient light from Andromeda just now reaching your eyes. There's nothing you need to do now. Just let your body sink. Heavier, heavier. Feel the mattress holding you. Every muscle softening. Your heartbeat slowing. Thump, thump. Matching the rhythm of space itself. Shoulders melting down. Jaw releasing. Each breath pulling you deeper, deeper. Into the calm, the quiet, the dark. If this helps you rest, tap subscribe, comment, and hit like, so others can find this calm too, but only if your eyes are still open. Otherwise, just drift. Now, let's drift into Andromeda, 2.5 million light years away. A galaxy spirals slowly, endlessly, in the constellation that bears her name, Andromeda, the chained princess of ancient myth, bound to the rocks, waiting for Perseus. The Greeks looked up and saw her story written in stars, but they saw something else too, a small, faint smudge of light. They called it the little cloud, not knowing, not understanding that this tiny patch of softness, this whisper in the dark, was an entire galaxy. 1 trillion suns spinning together, drifting through the void. Let your breath slow now. In and out, in and out. Feel yourself sinking deeper into the darkness, deeper into the quiet, just like Andromeda sinks into the night sky, appearing, disappearing with the seasons. The Persian astronomer Al-Sufi, in the year 964, wrote of this celestial smudge, describing it in his book of fixed stars, calling it a little cloud, never imagining its true nature for centuries, millennia. Humans looked at Andromeda and saw only a fuzzy star, a cosmic question mark, hanging in the autumn sky, your eyelids growing heavier, heavier, each blink lasting longer, the room around you fading, melting into shadow. When you look at Andromeda on a dark night, away from city lights, you're seeing photons, tiny messengers of light that left that galaxy 2.5 million years ago, when our ancestors were just learning to walk upright. Australopithecus, moving across African plains, while light from 1 trillion distant suns began its journey across the emptiness, across the dark, traveling, traveling, traveling for millions of years, just to touch your eyes. Tonight, that ancient light arrives tonight like the gentlest hello from a stranger who has always known you. Thump, thump, your heart beating slower now, matching the pulse of deep space, where time moves differently, where 1 million years is just a moment, just a breath. Your heartbeat and the cosmos find the same unhurried rhythm. Andromeda is the most distant object you can see with your unaided eyes. No telescope needed, no instrument, just your eyes, the darkness, and 2.5 million years collapsing into a single moment of soft, gentle light. It appears as an oval smudge stretched across the sky because we see it at an angle, tilted, inclined 77 degrees from our line of sight, like a dinner plate held up, turning slowly in the dark. In that faint smudge, 2.5 million years fold quietly into the palm of your gaze. Let your jaw release, unclenching, softening, your tongue resting heavy in your mouth. Nothing to say, nowhere to go, just drifting with Andromeda through the night. The jaw's release is the first small surrender to the night's vast permission. The Andromeda Galaxy spans roughly 220,000 light-years across, making it larger than our Milky Way, which stretches only about 100,000 light-years. Andromeda is the big sister, the elder twin, holding more stars as more light and more mass, drawing everything near it closer, with invisible threads of gravity. Size becomes irrelevant when gravity weaves the same quiet thread through both. Your shoulders melting down into the bed, down into the earth, down, heavy, so heavy, like you're made of stardust, which you are. Carbon, oxygen, iron, all forged in stars like those in Andromeda, billions of years ago. The heaviness is stardust remembering its origin and settling back into rest. Inside Andromeda, 1 trillion stars burn, some young and blue and fierce, others old and red and dying. The galaxy's spiral arms, elegant curves of light, wound tight around a bright central bulge, where stars crowd together, ancient and golden, born when the universe was young, 10 billion years ago, or more, before Earth existed, before the sun, before anything you've ever known. 1 trillion quiet fires burn together, each one older than memory, yet still alive in this moment. Breathe in, slowly, deeply. Breathe out, longer, slower. Feel the air moving through you, carrying you down into sleep, into the dark, into the infinite. Each breath is a small voyage across the same darkness the photons crossed. At Andromeda's heart, buried in that dense core, something waits, a supermassive black hole, weighing as much as 100 million suns, sitting silent, patient at the center of everything, pulling, always pulling, space bending around it, time slowing, light circling, unable to escape. Just darkness, pure and absolute, at the very heart of all that light. Even the brightest galaxy cradles a perfect, patient silence at its core. Your thoughts beginning to scatter, to dissolve. Words becoming sounds, sounds becoming silence. Nothing to hold on to, nothing to remember. Just this moment, this breath, this soft, eternal. Now, thoughts scatter like stars no longer needing constellations to belong. But Andromeda holds a mystery, a puzzle astronomers noticed decades ago. The galaxy seems to have 2 bright centers, 2 nuclei, where there should be one, like a double heartbeat. Thump, 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 pulsing in the core. Scientists believe this isn't 2 black holes, but rather the result of past collisions, past mergers, where Andromeda consumed another galaxy long ago, and the remnants still glow, still circle, forever marked by that ancient, violent, beautiful dance. The double pulse is the galaxy's way of remembering love it once devoured. The mattress holds you completely. You're sinking into it, becoming part of it. Your body heavy, so heavy. Arms like lead, legs like stone, fingers barely moving, barely there, fading into the soft embrace of gravity, of darkness, of sleep. The mattress becomes the gravity well into which everything willingly falls. Andromeda didn't always look like this. 11 billion years ago, in the universe's youth, clouds of hydrogen collapsed, pulling together under their own weight, forming stars, forming clusters, forming the first, faint ghost of what would become this mighty spiral over billions of years. Andromeda grew, pulling in smaller galaxies, devouring them, absorbing their stars, their gas, their light, growing larger, until it became the giant we see today. Growth is the galaxy's long, slow act of gathering forgotten pieces into one. Let your eyes close, if they haven't already. No need to see anymore. No need to watch. Just listen. Just feel. Just drift. Closing the eyes opens the door to the darkness that has always been watching. The evidence of Andromeda's cannibalistic past is written in stellar streams, long ribbons of stars stretched across the galaxy's halo like scars. These streams are the ghosts of smaller galaxies, torn apart by Andromeda's gravity, their stars scattered, strewn across space, forming faint loops and arcs, visible only in the deepest images, the longest exposures, whispers of violence, softened by time, by distance, by the gentle, endless turning of space. Scars are the galaxy's poetry, written in light too faint for most eyes. Thump, thump. Your heart beats so slow now, so quiet, barely there, like you're floating and in the void, in the dark, between stars, between worlds, weightless, formless, pure awareness, dissolving. The slowing beat is the heart learning it no longer needs to hurry. The giant stellar stream, one of Andromeda's most prominent scars, stretches across the galaxy like a river of ancient suns. These stars, ripped from a dwarf galaxy, perhaps 1 billion years ago, now orbit Andromeda, forever, trapped, like debris circling a drain, slowly, spiraling in over millions, billions of years. The stream flows without hurry, carrying the memory of what was lost into what will always be. You're breathing so slow, so shallow, each breath lasting longer. The pause between, deeper. You're not sure if you're breathing or being breathed by the universe, by the night, by the soft, persistent pull of sleep. Breath becomes something the night does through you, gentle and unasked. Andromeda has its own family, its own companions, at least 14 satellite galaxies, small dwarf galaxies, orbit around it, held by gravity, dancing in formation, M32, M110, and others too faint, too distant to have familiar names. These satellites are Andromeda's children, or its prisoners, depending on how you see it. Bound forever, to circle, to drift, never escaping, never alone. Companions circle not out of captivity, but out of the same quiet belonging. Let go, let everything go. Your name, your day, your worries, your plans, all of it dissolving, melting like snow, like morning mist, like stars, fading in the growing light of dawn. But there is no dawn here, only night, soft, eternal, night. Letting go is the night saying you were never holding anything that wasn't already safe. In 1924, a young astronomer named Edwin Hubble studied Andromeda through the Great Telescope at Mount Wilson. He found variable stars, Cepheid variables, stars that pulse, brightening and dimming, with a rhythm linked to their true brightness. By measuring their apparent brightness and comparing it to their actual brightness, Hubble calculated distance and realized Andromeda was far, too far, to be part of our Milky Way. It was another galaxy entirely, an island universe, separate, distant, vast. One man's quiet measurement opened the universe's door to infinity. This discovery, quiet, revolutionary, changed everything. Suddenly the universe, our universe, became infinite, filled with galaxies, billions of them, trillions of them, each containing billions of stars. Andromeda was the key, the proof that we live in an ocean, not a pond, in an endlessness that dwarfs all human knowing. The pond became an ocean the moment someone dared to measure its depth. Your thoughts like clouds now, shapeless, drifting, no edges, no boundaries, just softness, melting into more softness, sky into sky, star into star, you into universe, universe into you. Clouds have no need for edges when the sky's already complete. The spiral arms of Andromeda, those elegant curves, are not solid structures. They're density waves, regions where stars and gas bunch together like traffic slowing on a cosmic highway. As material enters the arm, it compresses, triggering star formation. New suns ignite, blue and bright and brief, lighting the spiral before drifting away. The arms themselves remain, but the stars within them come and go like water flowing through a river's shape. The arms stand still while everything within them flows onward, beautiful and transient, heavier, heavier. Your whole body sinking through the bed, through the floor, through the earth, falling, but safely, gently, like floating down, through warm water, through darkness, through space itself. Down and down and down. Falling is only frightening until it becomes floating in the same direction as everything else. Within those spiral arms, vast clouds of gas and dust collapse, forming stellar nurseries, regions where hundreds, thousands of stars are being born right now. Blue giants, red dwarfs, stars like our sun, all igniting, all beginning their long, slow burn. Some of these stars forming in Andromeda tonight will outlive our sun, will shine long after Earth is gone, after the Milky Way merges with Andromeda, after everything we know has changed, transformed, become something new. New stars ignite tonight in places we will never touch, yet their light will carry on without us. But not all of Andromeda is creating stars. Much of it is quiet now. The central bulge, that bright golden core, is mostly filled with old stars, red giants, ancient suns, born billions of years ago, slowly dying. They've exhausted their fuel, expanded, cooled. Their light is soft, orange, red, like embers, like sunset, eternal, fading. The quiet core glows with the patience of things that have already burned their brightest. Your consciousness fragmenting, pieces floating away, thoughts becoming dreams, dreams becoming shadows. You're not sure what's real anymore, not sure if you're here or there or nowhere, just drifting in the space between waking and sleep. Fragmentation is the gentle way the self remembers it was never truly separate. Andromeda's disk is warped, bent, twisted. Astronomers aren't certain why. Perhaps it's the gravitational tug of its satellite galaxies, or the memory of past collisions, past mergers. The galaxy isn't perfectly flat, isn't perfectly symmetrical. It has scars, imperfections. Like everything, it's been shaped by its history, by violence, by time, by the slow, relentless pull of gravity. Warps and bends are the galaxy's way of wearing its long story with grace. Dark lanes of dust run through Andromeda's spiral arms, visible as dark shadows against the background glow. These dust lanes, made of carbon, silicates, ice, block the light of stars behind them, creating contrast, creating structure, like the dark spaces between words, between thoughts, between heartbeats, necessary, essential, defining the light by their absence. The shadows are what give the stars their quiet, perfect shape. Thump, thump, so slow, so faint. You might be asleep already. You're not sure. The boundary, blurring, disappearing. There is no boundary. There never was. Just consciousness, flowing, shifting, like water, like light, like Andromeda, slowly turning in the dark. In that blur, everything finally feels allowed to simply be. Globular clusters, dense spheres of ancient stars, orbit Andromeda like bees around a hive, roughly 500 of them. Each cluster contains hundreds of thousands of stars, packed together, their light blending, creating golden orbs hanging in space. Some of these clusters are among the oldest objects in the universe, 13 billion years old, formed when the cosmos was young, when galaxies were just beginning to take shape. Each golden orb is a time capsule, still glowing with the universe's youngest memories. Your body completely still now, barely breathing, barely there, just a whisper of warmth in the dark, just a flicker of awareness, watching, listening to the soft voice telling you about stars, about time, about Andromeda, drifting, always drifting, closer. Stillness is the body's way of saying it has nothing left to prove. The halo of Andromeda, a vast spherical region, extending far beyond the visible disk, contains the oldest stars, the faintest stars, scattered, sparsely, across hundreds of thousands of light years. This halo is mostly dark matter, invisible, undetectable. Except through its gravitational effects, dark matter outweighs all the stars, all the gaze, all the light, by a factor of 10 or more. It's the skeleton, the scaffolding upon which all galaxies are built. Invisible hands hold the visible world in the gentlest, strongest grip. Scientists estimate Andromeda's total mass, including dark matter, at about 1.5 trillion times the mass of our Sun, but most of that mass is invisible, unknowable, felt only through the way it bends space, the way it pulls on light, on stars, on other galaxies. A ghost, holding everything together, silent, patient, eternal. The unseen is what makes the seen possible, quietly and without fanfare. Let yourself go completely now. Surrender to the darkness, to the weight, to the pull of sleep. Nothing matters. Nothing needs to happen. You're already exactly where you need to be. Already home, already safe, already drifting into the deep, the soft, the endless. Surrender is the moment home recognizes you've returned. Andromeda rotates, its outer regions spinning at about 250 kilometers per second. Stars orbiting the galactic center, taking hundreds of millions of years to complete one circuit. From the perspective of those stars, of planets, if they exist, circling those stars, Andromeda's center barely moves. The galaxy is eternal, unchanging, a fixed point in an infinite, turning, dark. To the stars, one full turn feels like standing still forever. But Andromeda isn't static, isn't frozen. X-ray observations reveal hot gas, superheated to millions of degrees, glowing in the core, supernova remnants. The afterglows of exploded stars shine in X-rays, marking places where massive suns died violently, scattering their atoms, their carbon, their oxygen, their iron, back into space to form new stars, new planets, perhaps new life. Every violent end quietly seeds the next gentle beginning. Your mind empty now, no thoughts, no words, just the voice, washing over you, through you, like waves on an endless shore. Each word a ripple, pulling you deeper, deeper into the ocean of sleep. The voice becomes the water, and you become the shore that needs no name. Planetary nebulae, scattered throughout Andromeda, glow softly. These are the outer layers of dying star, puffed away, illuminated by the hot white dwarf core left behind. They drift through space, expanding, fading over thousands of years, beautiful, ephemeral, like breath, visible in cold air, then gone. But the atoms remain, recycled, reused, forever. Even fading beauty leaves its quiet gift behind. Andromeda's chemical composition tells a story. The oldest stars, formed from nearly pure hydrogen and helium, the primordial elements from the Big Bang. But as generations of stars lived and died, they created heavier elements: carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, silicon, iron, gold, each generation slightly richer in metals, as astronomers call them. The metallicity, a measure of this enrichment, increases closer to the center, where stars have formed and died and formed again for billions of years. The galaxy remembers every life it has lived, written in the atoms of its heart, sinking, sinking, like snow falling on a quiet night, slow, silent, inevitable. You're falling into sleep, into the dark, into Andromeda. No difference anymore between you and the galaxy, between inside and outside. All boundaries dissolving, melting away into the soft, warm, eternal. Falling is just another way of arriving. Compared to the Triangulum galaxy, Andromeda's smaller neighbor, Andromeda is massive, ancient, dominant, Triangulum. M33 contains perhaps 40 billion stars, modest compared to Andromeda's trillion. The three galaxies, Andromeda, the Milky Way, and Triangulum, form the heart of the local group. A small cluster of galaxies are bound by gravity, drifting together through the expanding universe. In this small family, size matters less than the shared gentle orbit. The local group contains more than 50 galaxies, most of them dwarfs, small, faint, but Andromeda rules this region, the largest, the brightest, the most massive. Its gravity shapes the orbits, the fates of everything nearby. We orbit it, in a sense, or rather, we're falling toward each other on a collision course that will take billions of years to complete. Even rulers fall toward what they hold close. Thump, thump. Perhaps your heart has stopped. Perhaps you're dreaming already. Perhaps you've become one with Andromeda, a star in its spiral arms, burning quietly, patiently, for billions of years, waiting for the moment when two galaxies become one. In that waiting, every quiet burn becomes eternal. Andromeda moves toward us at about 110 kilometers per second, approaching, closing the distance. This was discovered through Doppler shift, this stretching and compressing of light waves. Blue shifted light means motion toward, and Andromeda's light is blue shifted. Unmistakably, it's coming, inevitable, beautiful, a collision written in gravity, in motion, in the mathematics of space and time. The blue shift is the universe whispering closer, closer, closer. But don't worry, don't fear. This collision won't happen for 4 billion years, long after you, long after humanity, perhaps long after the sun has swelled into a red giant, consuming Earth. The stars won't actually collide. Space is too vast, too empty. They'll pass through each other like ghosts, like dreams. The galaxies will merge, their shapes dissolving, reforming into something new, something neither, but both. Time stretches the fear until only beauty remains, your breath barely moving now. In, out, so slow you might have already stopped, crossed over into sleep. But the voice continues, soft, persistent, telling you about light, about time, about Andromeda. Even when breath pauses, the story keeps breathing for you. The ancient collision already unfolding across timescales we can barely comprehend. It began long before we existed and will continue long after we are gone. When the merger begins, truly begins, in about 4 billion years, the night sky will transform, Andromeda will grow, night by night, year by year, millennium by millennium, from a faint smudge to a bright oval, to a spectacular spiral, filling half the sky, its spiral arms glowing, magnificent, close enough to see individual star clouds, individual bright regions, the most beautiful, terrifying, awe-inspiring sight any world could witness. That slow unveiling will be the sky's most patient love letter. Let your whole being soften, release, melt into the bed, into the darkness, your awareness fading like stars at dawn, still there but invisible, absorbed into something larger, something infinite, just drifting with Andromeda across the void. Melting feels like coming home to the place you never left. During the collision, stars will rarely hit stars. Space is too empty. The distance between stars too vast. Our sun could pass through Andromeda's densest regions and never come close to another star. The galaxies are mostly emptiness, darkness, with tiny points of light scattered like dust motes in a cathedral. But gravity will tug, will pull, will fling stars into new orbits. Some will be ejected, thrown into intergalactic space, lonely, exiled, forever. Others will spiral inward toward the merged core, where 2 supermassive black holes will orbit, merge, releasing energy, gravitational waves rippling through space-time like dropping a stone in a still, dark pond. Even in cosmic violence, most of the space remains gently untouched. Your eyelids so heavy, sealed, you couldn't open them, even if you wanted. But you don't want. You want only this darkness, this softness, this voice guiding you through the mysteries, the slow science of Andromeda. The weight of eyelids is the final permission to rest. The merger will take billions of years to complete. The galaxies will pass through each other, swing back, pass through again and again, each passage more chaotic, more tangled, until finally they settle into a new form, an elliptical galaxy, bloated, featureless, the spiral arms gone, dissolved, the structure lost. What remains will be called Milkomeda, or perhaps Milkdromeda, a hybrid, a child of 2 ancient parents, red and orange stars, old and dying, filling the new galaxy. Few new stars forming, the gas mostly expelled or consumed in brief, violent bursts of star formation triggered by the collision. Birth and death entwined so slowly that the new galaxy simply breathes into being. But our sun if it still exists, will likely survive. Flung into a new orbit, perhaps farther from the galactic center, perhaps closer, Earth, if it somehow survived, the sun's red giant phase, would see a transformed sky. No spiral arms, no Milky Way band, just a diffuse glow of countless stars scattered everywhere. The night sky would be brighter, but emptier, somehow less structured, less familiar. A universe transformed by time, by gravity, by the slow, inevitable dance of galaxies. Change arrives not with thunder, but with the quiet rearrangement of light. Thump, thump. Or perhaps that's not your heartbeat anymore. Perhaps it's the pulse of the cosmos, the rhythm of expansion, of collapse, of stars forming and dying, of galaxies merging. The universal heartbeat, slow, eternal, thump, thump, thump. Every thump echoes the same patient rhythm that carries everything. Let your last thoughts drift away like leaves on a stream. Thoughts about tomorrow, about yesterday, about anything. Gone, floating, away, into the dark. There is only now, only this moment, this breath, this word, dissolving into silence. Thoughts leave like guests who finally know it's time to go. Andromeda formed roughly 10 billion years ago in the early universe, when galaxies were just beginning to take their modern shapes. Clouds of primordial gas collapsed under gravity, forming the first stars. These stars, massive, blue, short-lived, exploded quickly, enriching the gas with heavier elements. The next generation of stars formed from this enriched material, and the next, and the next. Each generation slightly different, slightly richer, building the galaxy star by star over billions of years. Each star is a chapter written in fire and patience. Early in its history, Andromeda likely collided with other galaxies, smaller ones, absorbing them, growing. The evidence remains in stellar streams, in the warped disk, in chemical gradients that mark where separate galaxies once existed before becoming one. Everything in Andromeda has a history, a story, a formation, collision, transformation. Nothing is pristine. Everything is recycled, reused, reformed, like consciousness itself, flowing, changing, never the same, from moment to moment. Every scar is proof of a life fully lived. Your body doesn't exist anymore. Not really. It's just a sensation, a vague warmth in the darkness. No arms, no legs, no face, just awareness, floating, pure, unmoored, drifting through space, through time, through the soft, endless. Now, without form, you become the space that holds everything. Andromeda has experienced quiet periods and active periods, times when star formation exploded, filling the galaxy with young blue stars, and times when it nearly stopped, the galaxy breathing in and out across billions of years. Currently, Andromeda is relatively quiet, forming fewer stars than galaxies like the Milky Way. Most of its gas has been consumed or blown away. What remains burns slowly, patiently. The galaxy, in late middle age, past its wild youth, settling into slower, gentler rhythms. Maturity is the galaxy learning to rest in its own light. Compared to some spiral galaxies, Andromeda is unusual. Its star formation is suppressed, its gas content lower than expected. Astronomers call this the missing gas mystery. Where did it go? Was it blown away by supernovae, by the central black hole, or consumed in past bursts of star formation? The answer remains uncertain, a puzzle drifting through the star. Some questions are beautiful simply because they linger, sinking deeper now, past sleep, past dreams, into something formless, nameless. The place where awareness goes when it lets go completely, when it surrenders to the dark, to the void, to the eternal. Surrender is the moment the wave forgets it was ever separate from the ocean. In infrared light, Andromeda transforms. The dust lanes that appear dark in visible light glow brightly, heated by young stars, revealing the spiral structure in stunning detail. In ultraviolet, the youngest stars shine, blue and fierce, marking regions of active star formation. In radio waves, vast clouds of cold hydrogen become visible, the raw material for future stars. Each wavelength reveals a different Andromeda, a different truth, like looking at something from different angles, seeing layers, depths, complexities invisible to a single perspective. Every lens uncovers a hidden tenderness in the same familiar face. X-ray telescopes reveal the hottest phenomena, supernova remnants, glowing shells of gas, heated to millions of degrees, X-ray binaries, where a normal star feeds matter onto a neutron star or black hole. The matter spiraling inward, heating, emitting X-rays before vanishing forever into darkness. And the central supermassive black hole, surprisingly quiet, dormant, not feeding, not active, just waiting, patient at the heart of everything. Even the hungriest silence knows how to wait. Your awareness, barely a whisper now, a ghost, haunting the edges of consciousness, not quite awake, not quite asleep, somewhere in between, in the soft grey space where boundaries dissolve. In the grey borderland, all opposites hold hands. Andromeda's stellar density is highest at the core, where stars crowd together, a few light years apart. Imagine living on a planet in that region. The night sky would blaze with stars, thousands visible, no darkness between them. The sky, a solid sheet of light. But farther out, in the spiral arms, where our sun would orbit, if it orbited Andromeda, stars are scattered, sparse, light years, tens of light years apart. The sky, mostly dark, mostly empty, like our own familiar night. Crowded or sparse, every sky still sings the same quiet song. The quiet core, despite its brightness, is relatively inactive. Old stars, red giants, moving in stable orbits, little gas, little dust, few new stars forming. It's a retirement home for ancient suns, a place of stillness, patience, slow, inevitable decline. Age brings not diminishment, but a deeper, softer glow. Andromeda's central black hole, weighing roughly 100 million solar masses, is smaller than expected for a galaxy so large. The Milky Way's black hole, Sagittarius, a star, weighs only 4 million solar masses, but other galaxies, comparable to Andromeda, often have billion solar mass black holes at their hearts. Why is Andromeda's relatively modest? Astronomers don't know. Perhaps it hasn't fed in a long time. Perhaps it expelled more than it consumed. Another mystery, another question, drifting, unanswered, through the dark. Even giants can choose quiet restraint. Thump, thump. The sound might be your heartbeat, or might be something else. The rhythm of stars pulsing, the beat of galaxies rotating, the pulse of the universe expanding, contracting in cycles too vast to comprehend. It doesn't matter. Let it wash over you, through you. Let it carry you down, down, into the deep. The rhythm continues whether you hear it or become it. When you photograph Andromeda with a long exposure, a camera mounted on a telescope tracking the stars for minutes, hours, details emerge, invisible to the eye, spiral arms traced in blue and pink, star-forming regions, glowing red, dust lanes, dark and intricate. The galaxy's true size becomes apparent, stretching across 3 degrees of sky, 6 times wider than the full moon, but most of it too faint to see, without technology, without time, without patience. Time and patience are the only lenses that reveal what the eye alone cannot hold. Amateur astronomers with backyard telescopes can see Andromeda's core, its central bulge, bright and oval, in dark skies. Hints of spiral structure emerge in photographs. Even modest equipment can capture astonishing detail. The galaxy is close, bright, accessible, a favorite target for anyone looking up, wondering what lies beyond. Wonder needs no grand instrument, just dark skies and open eyes. Ancient humans may have seen Andromeda differently than we do, in truly dark skies, unpolluted by cities, by light. The galaxy might appear larger, more obvious. Ancient astronomers in Persia, in China, in Greece recorded it, described it, wondered at it. They had no idea what it was, but they knew it was strange, different, a mystery in the firmament. The same mystery still looks down on us, unchanged. Your thoughts completely gone now. No memories, no future, no past. Just this moment, this word, this breath, timeless, eternal. The universe reduced to a single point of soft, warm awareness, floating in infinite darkness. When everything else vanishes, what remains is already complete. In Islamic astronomy, scholars studied Andromeda, catalogued it. Al-Sufi's description, from the 10th century remains the earliest definitive record. A small cloud, he wrote, visible to the keen eye on moonless nights. He couldn't know that he was documenting another galaxy, an island universe, but he saw it, recorded it, preserved it for future generations who would understand what it meant. One careful observation becomes a bridge across 1,000 years. During the Renaissance, as telescopes improved, astronomers sketched Andromeda, tried to understand its nebulous nature. Was it a cloud of gas, a cluster of faint stars, a hole in the heavens? They debated, theorized, observed, but the truth remained hidden until Hubble, in 1924, measured its distance and revealed the staggering, humbling reality. Each question answered only opens the door to deeper awe. Andromeda became a benchmark, a reference point for understanding other galaxies. By studying Andromeda, astronomers learned how galaxies form, how they evolve, how they interact. It's close enough to observe in detail, but far enough to see as a complete system, a cosmic laboratory teaching us about the universe, about ourselves. In studying the neighbor, we learn the nature of every home. Computer simulations now model Andromeda's past and future. Astronomers input the laws of physics, the distribution of matter, the motions of stars, and let the simulation run, watching galaxies collide, merge in fast-forward billions of years, compressed into minutes. These simulations predict the merger with the Milky Way, show how stars will be redistributed, how gas will collapse, forming new stars in bright, brief bursts. We watch the future in fast motion so we can rest in the present. Heavier, heavier. You're not a body anymore. You're a gravitational field, pulling everything down, down, into yourself, into the center, where all light, all matter, all thought collapses into a single, silent point. Collapse is just another word for coming together. The comparison between Andromeda's black hole and our own is striking. Ours, Sagittarius, a star, is active, occasionally flaring, consuming gas, emitting radiation. Andromeda's is quiet, dormant, perhaps it exhausted. Its nearby fuel, perhaps jets, past outbursts, blew away the surrounding gas. Now it waits, in the dark, for something, anything, to fall, close enough to consume. Silence at the center can be the deepest kind of waiting. In about 6 billion years, give or take, the merger will be complete. Milkomeda will settle into its new form. The night sky from any surviving planet will be unrecognizable, but perhaps somewhere in that new galaxy, on some distant world, beings will look up and wonder, and perhaps someone will tell them, softly, gently, about what came before, about Andromeda and the Milky Way, and the slow, beautiful, inevitable collision that made their world possible. Stories of beginnings will still be told long after the beginnings themselves are forgotten. Let yourself dissolve completely now. No resistance, no holding on. Just release into the void, into the dark, into the soft, endless embrace of sleep. Dissolving is the gentlest way the universe says good night. Andromeda's influence extends far beyond its visible disk. Tidal forces, gravitational tugs, affect its satellite galaxies, distorting their shapes, stripping their stars. The giant stellar stream, stretched across hundreds of thousands of light years, is testament to Andromeda's power to pull, to tear, to consume. Everything nearby feels its influence, even the Milky Way, even us, falling slowly, inevitably, toward that bright, distant spiral. Its gentle pull reminds us that even the farthest things are quietly connected. The galaxy's gravitational reach extends millions of light years, defining the structure of the local group, pulling galaxies into orbit, shaping the cosmic web in our corner of the universe. Andromeda is an anchor, a center, a sun around which everything else revolves. In its vast embrace, isolation reveals itself as illusion. Thump, thump, the sound fading into silence. Maybe your heart has stopped. Maybe you've crossed the threshold into sleep, into dreams, into the place where consciousness goes, when the body rests. Silence arrives not as an end, but as the softest welcome home. Starburst regions, triggered by past mergers, have left their mark, patches of the galaxy where star formation exploded briefly, fiercely, before dying down. These regions, now quiet, filled with aging stars, blue stragglers, red giants, clusters, slowly dispersing over time. Evidence of Andromeda's violent past, now fading, softening, like memories, like scars, healed, but not forgotten. Even the wildest storms leave behind a calmer, wiser sky. Comparing Andromeda to other spiral galaxies across the universe, astronomers find it's both typical and unusual. Typical in its spiral structure, its central bulge, its rotation. Unusual in its low star formation, its missing gas, its double nucleus. Every galaxy is unique, shaped by its particular history, its environment, its luck. But all galaxies follow the same laws, the same physics, the same inevitable, slow evolution toward equilibrium, toward entropy, toward silence. Uniqueness and universality dance together in every spiral. Andromeda's symmetry then is imperfect. One spiral arm, brighter than the other, the disk, warped, asymmetric. These imperfections tell stories of collisions, of gravitational interactions, of the chaotic, beautiful messiness of real galaxies. Only in simulations, in idealizations, are galaxies perfectly symmetric. In reality, everything is flawed, everything is beautiful, because of, not despite, those flaws. Flaws are the handwriting of a galaxy's long, honest life. Your consciousness, fragmenting into dreams now, images without logic, thoughts without words, the voice still speaking, but you're not listening anymore. Not really. You're somewhere else, somewhere deep, somewhere soft, where Andromeda might dream, if galaxies could dream. In dreams, the boundaries between self and cosmos quietly dissolve. Mapping Andromeda in 3 dimensions requires painstaking work, measuring the motion of individual stars, their distance, their velocity, building up a picture of the galaxy's shape, its rotation, its depth. Not just a flat image, but a living, breathing, 3-dimensional object spinning through space. Astronomers have mapped millions of stars in Andromeda, each one a data point, a story, a lifetime of light. Each measured star is a small act of love across unimaginable distance. The faint outer disk extends far beyond. The bright spiral, scattered stars, ancient metal poor, orbiting. In the darkness, the extended stellar halo reaches perhaps 300,000 light years from the center, containing the oldest stars, the remnants of the very first stellar generations, born when the universe was young, when galaxies were just forming from the primordial dark. The oldest light still carries the memory of the universe's first quiet breath. Cold gas reservoirs lurk in Andromeda's outskirts. Clouds of hydrogen, too cold to glow, too diffuse to collapse, just waiting, drifting. Perhaps, someday, they'll fall inward, forming new stars. But for now, they wait, patient, invisible, in the dark. Patience in the void is the prelude to every new beginning. Heavier and heavier. You're falling through layers of sleep, each one darker, each one deeper. Soon, you'll reach the bottom, where dreams live, where consciousness dissolves, where you're no longer you, just awareness, pure, formless, one with everything, one with Andromeda, spinning slowly through the endless dark. At the deepest layer, falling becomes floating, and separation becomes embrace. Why Andromeda appears oval from Earth is simply perspective. We see it tilted at an angle, like a frisbee, spinning toward us. If we could view it face on from above, it would appear perfectly circular, spiral arms emanating from the center in graceful curves. But we see it edge on, almost, the spiral, compressed, foreshortened, still beautiful, but different than its true form. Perspective changes nothing of the truth, only how tenderly we receive it. The galaxy's inclination angle, 77 degrees, means we see it, nearly edge on. This makes studying its spiral structure more difficult. The arms overlap in our view, but it also makes certain features more visible. The dust lanes appear darker, the warped disk more obvious. Every angle that reveals something, hides something. There is no perfect view, only perspectives, each incomplete. Each imperfect angle still offers its own quiet gift of revelation. Andromeda rises, in late summer in the northern hemisphere. By autumn, it's high overhead, easy to find. In winter, it sinks toward the west. By spring, it's gone, lost in the sun's glow. The cycle repeats year after year, Andromeda appearing, disappearing, with the seasons, eternal, reliable, like the stars themselves, like the soft, persistent rhythm of sleep. Season after season, it returns like a promise kept in silence. The best time to observe is autumn, on moonless nights, away from cities, in dark skies. Andromeda appears as a faint oval smudge. At first, you might miss it, might look right past it, but once you see it, once your eyes adjust, you can't unsee it. It's always there, waiting. 2.5 million years, collapsing into a moment of recognition, of wonder. That first glimpse is a small eternity folded into a single breath. Let your body go completely limp, no muscle tension anywhere. Your arms heavy, useless. Your legs distant, forgotten. Your face smooth, expressionless. You are no one. You are everyone. You're the dark between stars, the silence between heartbeats, the peace that comes when everything finally stops. Limpness is the body's gentle way of saying it trusts the dark. Long exposure photography reveals Andromeda's hidden beauty. Colors emerge, blues from young stars, reds from hydrogen gas, glowing in star-forming regions, yellows and oranges from the ancient core. With enough time, enough patience, even backyard telescopes can capture as breathtaking detail the spiral arms, the dust lanes, the satellite galaxies, all waiting to be seen, to be known, to be remembered. Patience turns faint light into vivid memory. Ancient humans, looking up, might have wondered, what is that smudge, that faint cloud in the autumn sky? They couldn't have known. They were seeing light from 1 trillion suns, couldn't have imagined the distances, the timescales involved, but they saw it, marked it, passed down stories, and now we know, we understand, we see not just a smudge, but a galaxy, a universe, a future home, when 2 galaxies slowly, inevitably, beautifully become one. Wonder began long before understanding, and it remains after. Thump, thump, or maybe silence. Maybe you've slipped beneath the waves into the deep, where sound doesn't reach, where time doesn't flow, where you simply are existing, without thought, without effort, floating in the warm, dark, eternal womb of space. Silence is the cradle where existence rests without needing a reason. Andromeda appears in ancient star catalogues. Chinese astronomers recorded it. Persian scholars described it. Greek observers noted it. Each culture saw it differently, named it differently, but all agreed it was there, persistent, mysterious, unchanging, a fixed point in the turning heavens Across centuries and continents, the same faint glow held everyone's gaze. During the Middle Ages, Islamic astronomers preserved and expanded ancient knowledge. They studied Andromeda, measured its position, described its appearance. Their work passed to European scholars during the Renaissance, building generation by generation toward understanding, each step small, each contribution valuable, until finally the truth emerged. Knowledge is a relay passed through the quiet dark of time. Modern astrophysics now studies Andromeda with tools unimaginable to ancient astronomers: radio telescopes, space telescopes, spectrographs, computer simulations. We map it in every wavelength, from radio waves to gamma rays. We measure its rotation, its composition, its history. We predict its future. We understand so much, yet mysteries remain. The double nucleus, the missing gas, the details of the coming merger. Still, we wonder. Still, we look up and ask, why? Understanding deepens wonder rather than ending it. Your mind empty as space itself now. Vast, dark, infinite. Thoughts like stars, scattered, distant, barely visible. And between them, nothing. Just void. Just peace. Just the soft, endless, dark, where sleep finally gathers you in its arms. In that vast emptiness, the last flicker of thought dissolves into perfect belonging. The silence between Andromeda's stars is absolute. Perfect. In the vacuum of space, no sound travels, no whisper carries. Each star burns alone, separated from its neighbors by light years of emptiness, of nothing. If you stood on a planet orbiting a star in Andromeda's spiral arms and screamed, no one would hear, not the next star over, not anyone. The silence, deeper than any silence you've ever known, deeper than the quietest room, the stillest night. It's the silence of space itself, of the void between everything. In that perfect hush, every worry finally finds its place to rest. Let that silence wash over you now. Feel it in the room, around you. The quiet growing deeper, softer. Your breath, the only sound, and even that fading, becoming part of the silence, part of the endless, cosmic quiet. The world outside dissolves until only this gentle absence remains. The scale of emptiness inside Andromeda defies imagination. 1 trillion stars sounds crowded but spread across 220,000 light years. It becomes sparse, empty, vast beyond comprehension. If you could shrink the sun to the size of a grain of sand, the nearest star would be 4 miles away. In Andromeda, the distances are similar or greater. A galaxy is mostly nothing, mostly darkness, with tiny specks of light scattered like dust in an endless cathedral. Emptiness is not absence. It is the canvas on which everything quietly exists. Your body sinking through layers of mattress, of floor, of earth, down and down into emptiness, into the spaces between atoms, between thoughts, between heartbeats, you're becoming the emptiness, the silence, the vast, patient dark. And in becoming nothing, you become everything at once. Imagine drifting through Andromeda, moving between stars. Light years pass, decades, centuries, nothing but darkness, nothing but void. Occasionally, a star appears, distant, faint, growing brighter as you approach, then passing, fading, behind you, and darkness again. For years, for lifetimes, just empty space, cold, silent, beautiful, in its absolute emptiness. Each lonely passage only deepens the peace of simply being. Thump, thump, your heart, barely moving now, each beat separated by eternities like stars in Andromeda, each one alone, burning in the dark, connected by gravity, by history, but separated, always separated by the unbridgeable void. Even the faintest rhythm echoes across the same infinite quiet. In science fiction, Andromeda calls to explorers, to dreamers. The Andromeda Galaxy, a destination impossibly far, impossibly beautiful. Stories imagine generation ships traveling for millions of years, civilizations born, living, dying in transit, never seeing either home or destination, just the journey, endless, patient, slow. The dream of arrival matters less than the courage to keep drifting. Let your thoughts drift like those ships, moving through darkness. No destination, no arrival, just movement, just the journey, floating forever through the void, content to never arrive, content to simply drift. Drifting without end is its own kind of homecoming. Other stories imagine wormholes, faster than light travel, ways to cross the 2.5 million light years in moments, in heartbeats, emerging in Andromeda among alien stars, alien worlds, finding what? Life, civilizations, or just more silence, more emptiness, more stars, burning alone in the dark. Even shortcuts would only lead back to the same beautiful solitude, but the reality is simpler, more beautiful. We can't go there, can't visit, can't ever leave our local group, our cosmic neighborhood. We're bound by distance, by physics, by the speed of light. Andromeda will always be unreachable, except through light, through observation, through imagination, a forever as distant dream. Unreachability makes the longing pure and gentle. Your eyelids, sealed shut now, too heavy to ever open. The darkness behind them, complete, like the darkness between galaxies. Nothing and everything, all at once. Behind closed eyes, the universe folds itself into perfect stillness. In popular culture, Andromeda appears in songs, in poetry, in art. The Andromeda Strain, a novel about cosmic contamination. The Andromeda Galaxy, a symbol of the distant, the mysterious, the unreachable. People name their children, their companies, their dreams after Andromeda, because it represents something beyond, something greater, something eternal. We borrow its name to remind ourselves that wonder has no horizon. Musicians write songs about galaxies colliding, about spiral arms, about cosmic loneliness. Andromeda becomes metaphor for distance, for longing, for the unreachable beloved. Two galaxies destined to merge, but separated by millions of years, like lovers kept apart by time, by space, by fate. The ache of separation only makes eventual union more tender. Let that longing dissolve now. There's nothing to reach for, nothing to want. Everything you need is here, in the darkness, in the quiet, in this moment, complete, whole, perfect. Just this. Desire fades when the heart finally recognizes its own fullness. Artists paint Andromeda, its spiral arms, rendered in oils, in watercolors, in light. Photographers capture it. Long exposures, revealing colors, invisible to the eye. Blues, pinks, golds, each image unique, each perspective different, but all showing the same truth. The galaxy, spinning, eternal, beautiful, indifferent to our watching. Every brushstroke and photon carries the same quiet reverence. The emotional impact of seeing Andromeda for the first time can be profound. Standing in darkness, looking up, finding that faint smudge, and knowing, really knowing what it is. 1 trillion stars, 2.5 million light years, an entire galaxy, visible to your unaided eyes. Some people weep, some people laugh, some stand in silence, overwhelmed by the scale, by the beauty, by their own smallness. In that moment of recognition, smallness feels like the sweetest freedom. Heavier, heavier. You're not just sinking just anymore. You've sunk past the bottom into something deeper, a place where weight has no meaning, where body has no form, just awareness dissolving into the infinite. Dissolution is not loss. It is the gentlest return to wholeness. Andromeda reminds us we are small. Our lives, brief. Our world, tiny. But also, we are part of something vast, ancient, eternal. The same atoms in your body exist in Andromeda. Carbon, oxygen, iron, forged in stars, scattered by supernovae, across galaxies, across time. You are made of star stuff. Andromeda is made of star stuff. There is no separation, only the illusion of distance, of difference. In that shared stardust, every lonely silence becomes a quiet embrace. Looking at Andromeda, some feel cosmic loneliness, the vast, empty silence between galaxies, the impossibility of ever reaching out, touching, connecting. We're alone on our small world, in our small galaxy, watching others from across unbridgeable voids, forever separated. Yet in that loneliness, the heart finds its quietest truth, but others feel cosmic connection. We're all part of the same universe, the same story, the same atoms, the same laws, the same beginning, the same end. Andromeda and the Milky Way, siblings, twins, moving through space, together, drawing closer, destined to merge, to unite. Nothing is truly separate. Everything connected by gravity, by time, by the invisible thread of existence. That shared stardust whispers, you were never alone. Your breath, so slow, you might have stopped, might have crossed the final threshold into sleep. But the voice continues, soft, persistent, a thread leading you deeper, always deeper, into the mystery, into the dark, and the darkness welcomes you like an old patient friend. Andromeda, as the nearest spiral neighbour, makes it special, intimate. Despite the distance, it's close in cosmic terms. The Milky Way's companion, its partner in the slow dance of gravity. Together, they dominate the local group, two giants among dwarfs, two spirals among irregulars, similar in size, in structure, in destiny. Mirror images approaching across the void. Proximity turns strangers into family, even across millions of years. Other spiral galaxies exist, millions, billions, scattered through space, but they're distant, unreachable, even by light in human timescales. Andromeda, we can see, can study, can know. It's our cosmic neighbour, our future, our fate, the galaxy. We're falling toward slowly, inevitably, beautifully. Knowing one neighbour makes the whole vast neighbourhood feel less empty. The slow dance between galaxies unfolds across billions of years, invisible to human eyes. We see one moment, one frozen instant in an endless waltz. But the dance continues, Andromeda approaching, the Milky Way approaching, both pulled by mutual gravity, both falling toward the moment of collision, of merger, of union. Every step in that dance is written in the language of physics and longing. Thump, thump, or maybe that's the rhythm of the dance, the pulse of galaxies orbiting, the beat of cosmic time, slow, patient, eternal, measured in eons, not seconds, in light years, not miles. The universe has all the time in existence. Why rush? The heartbeat of the cosmos teaches us the beauty of unhurried motion. Let yourself move to that rhythm, slow, slower, slower than breath, slower than thought, moving like galaxies, imperceptibly, inevitably, toward rest, toward stillness, toward the moment when motion finally unstops. In matching that tempo, the body forgets it ever needed to hurry. Andromeda and cosmic inevitability go together. The merger will happen. Not maybe. Not possibly. Will. Certainty. Written in mathematics, in gravity, in motion. We can predict when, where, how. The laws of physics allow no escape, no deviation. The future, already determined, already unfolding. We're just watching it happen in slow motion. Certainty, once terrifying, now feels like the softest kind of permission to let go. There's something comforting in that inevitability. The future certain. No need to worry, to plan, to fear. It will happen, whether you're ready or not, whether you accept it or deny it. The merger continues, patient, unstoppable, like sleep, like aging, like time itself, inevitable. Knowing the ending frees you to simply be present in the unfolding, your consciousness, letting go of control, of the illusion that you can change anything, surrendering to inevitability, to gravity, to the pull of sleep, accepting that you're already falling, already sinking, already as gone. Surrender is not defeat. It is the final, perfect alignment. The patience of galactic motion is absolute. Andromeda approaches at 110 kilometers per second. Sounds fast, but across 2.5 million light years, it's glacial, imperceptible. In a human lifetime, Andromeda moves, barely. Human generations rise and fall. Civilizations form and crumble, and Andromeda barely moves in the sky. Patience beyond human understanding. Motion so slow it appears as stillness. That glacial pace reminds us true change asks for lifetimes we cannot live. But it's not still, never still, always moving, always approaching. Time, stretched across billions of years, makes motion invisible. But it's there, constant, relentless, like your breath, like your heartbeat, continuing whether you notice or not. Even unseen, the movement never falters. It simply waits for you to notice its gentleness. Let that patience infuse you. No need to hurry, no need to rush toward anything. Everything happens in its own time. Sleep comes when it comes. You can't force it, can't demand it, only surrender and wait, patient, like Andromeda, drifting through the dark. Patience is the universe's quietest lullaby. Andromeda, as a reminder of cosmic scale, humbles us. 2.5 million light years, light traveling at 300,000 kilometers per second, takes 2.5 million years to cross that distance. The fastest thing in the universe still takes millions of years, and we, traveling at highway speeds, would take trillions of years to reach Andromeda. More than the age of the universe, more than time itself has existed. In the face of such distances, smallness becomes strangely liberating. Human scale is tiny, microscopic. We measure our lives in decades, our history in millennia. But cosmic history spans billions, trillions of years. We're barely a blip, a momentary flicker in the endless flow of time. And yet that tiny flicker is enough to feel wonder, to breathe, to dream of galaxies we will never touch. Your life, shrinking now, becoming small, insignificant, but not in a sad way, in a freeing way. Nothing you do matters on cosmic scales. All your worries, your fears, your regrets, tiny, meaningless, dissolved in the vast, indifferent beauty of space. You can let go, let it all go. It never mattered anyway. And that realization feels like the gentlest exhale, heavier, heavier, sinking through the cosmic scales, past planets, past stars, past galaxies, down into the quantum foam, where even space, even time dissolve into probability, into uncertainty, into the formless, nameless or void. There is nothing left to grasp and nothing left to lose. The distance to Andromeda makes it safe. We can observe, study, admire without fear. It's not going to collide in our lifetime, or our children's lifetime, or for thousands of generations. We're safe, protected by time, by distance. We can watch the slow approach, knowing we won't be here when it arrives, like watching a sunrise that won't crest the horizon for millions of years. And somehow that vast patience soothes the soul. But our distant descendants, if they exist, will witness the merger, will see Andromeda filling the sky, will experience the chaos, the beauty, the transformation. They'll inherit the results of this slow collision. We'll live in Milkomeda, a galaxy we can barely imagine, born from the union of two ancient spirals, a future we will never touch, yet helped create. Thump, thump, softer, fainter, each beat separated by longer pauses, space between heartbeats, expanding like the space between galaxies, growing, stretching, until maybe the next beat never comes. And that's okay. That's perfect. That's exactly how it should be. Rest is the final kindness the body offers itself. Within Andromeda, time flows differently, or rather the same. But our perception changes. 1,000,000 years on Andromeda is nothing. Stars barely move. The galaxy barely rotates. But to us, 1,000,000 years is forever. Longer than human history. Longer than our species has existed. Time is relative. Perspective is everything. And in that shift of scale, all urgency fades. If you could live as long as a galaxy, 10 billion years, what would you see? Stars forming, dying, forming again, clouds of gas, collapsing, igniting or expanding, the spiral arms, winding, unwinding, perhaps colliding with another galaxy, absorbing it, growing, everything in motion, everything changing, but so slowly, so patiently, that it appears almost still. Eternity moves like the quiet turning of a wheel. Let your sense of time dissolve. No past, no future, only this eternal and present moment, stretched, infinite, in all directions. You've been here forever. You'll be here forever. Or maybe just a second. Time has no meaning anymore in the soft, dark place where you've gone. Here, every moment is both beginning and end. Andromeda contains mysteries we'll never solve, not because we lack technology, but because some information is lost forever. The details of stars that died billions of years ago, the exact path of Andromeda's formation, the nature of dark matter that holds it together, We can theorize, can guess, can model, but we'll never truly know. Some mysteries remain forever, and that's beautiful, perfect. The universe doesn't owe us answers. Silence is the universe's most elegant reply. Perhaps inside Andromeda, right now, planets orbit, oceans wave, mountains rise. Perhaps life exists, simple or complex. Perhaps civilizations look up at their stars and wonder. Perhaps someone, somewhere in Andromeda, is falling asleep, just like you, listening to someone tell them about galaxies, about stars, about the strange, distant spiral they call the Milky Way. Across billions of light years, the same quiet longing connects us. Your mind fragmenting now, thoughts scattering like stars. No coherence, no structure, just random flickers of awareness, appearing, disappearing in the dark. Nothing holding together, nothing making sense. And that's perfect. That's exactly what sleep feels like. Even chaos can be a form of peace. The light from Andromeda is ancient, but also eternal. The galaxy has shone for 10 billion years, will shine for billions more, long after the sun dies, long after Earth is gone. Andromeda's light will continue, pouring into space, traveling to distant worlds, to distant eyes, perhaps someday to beings we can't imagine, watching from distances. We can't conceive the light continuing forever, or until the last star finally dies. One small photon carries the story of an entire galaxy, but even then, even in the far future, when all stars are dead, when the universe is dark, cold, empty, Andromeda will remain as a cloud of dead stars, brown dwarfs, black holes, neutron stars, drifting through the darkness, a ghost of its former self, but still there, still existing, proof that something once burned bright. Even in death, existence leaves its gentle echo, heavier, heavier, past the point of heaviness, beyond weight, beyond sensation. You're not a body anymore, not even consciousness, just a possibility, a probability wave, collapsing into the single state of sleep. And in that collapse, everything becomes perfectly simple. Andromeda teaches patience more than anything. If you want to see change, to see motion, to see collision, you must wait, not years, not lifetimes, but millions of years, billions. The universe operates on timescales that make human impatience meaningless, ridiculous. Everything happens, everything changes. You just can't live long enough to see it. And in learning to wait, we finally learn to rest. But we can imagine, can extrapolate, can predict using mathematics, using physics. We can see the future, even if we'll never witness it. We know what will happen to Andromeda, to the Milky Way, to the stars, to the planets. We can see it in our minds, play it forward Watch galaxies merge in simulation, in imagination. Time compressed. Billions of years into seconds. The slow made fast. The invisible made visible. Imagination is the only telescope that can look billions of years ahead. Your breath, invisible now, imperceptible. Are you breathing? You're not sure. Don't check. Don't think. Just drift. Let the body do what it does or doesn't. Without you, without awareness, without concern. The body knows how to rest even when the mind has forgotten how. The mythology of Andromeda echoes still. The princess, chained to rocks, offered as sacrifice to appease a sea monster waiting for rescue or death. The constellation preserves her, immortalizes her in stars, but the galaxy, named for her, is even more eternal, more vast, more patient than any myth. Myths fade, but the galaxy named for her simply continues, unconcerned with the stories we tell. Perhaps galaxies are the true immortals, the true gods existing beyond human time, beyond human understanding. We worship our brief gods who live in human imagination. But galaxies are real, ancient, powerful, indifferent. They don't care if we worship them or ignore them. They continue, burning, spinning, approaching each other, inevitable, patient, eternal. Indifference is not cruelty, it is the purest form of permanence. Thump, thump, maybe, maybe not. Sound and silence, blending, no different anymore between presence and absence, between something and nothing. All boundaries erased, all distinctions meaningless in the soft, formless void. When sound and silence meet, they recognize they were never apart. Andromeda's gravity reaches across millions of light years, pulling gently, persistently on everything. The Milky Way feels it, falls toward it. Satellite galaxies feel it, orbit around it. Even light passing near bends, curves, follows the warped space-time around. So much mass, gravity, invisible, intangible, but more real than anything you can touch. Gravity is the universe's quiet promise that no one is truly alone. That same gravity pulls on you right now. Andromeda's gravity, infinitesimally small but present, tugging on every atom in your body. You're connected to that distant galaxy by invisible threads, by the curvature of space-time. Everything in the universe pulls on everything else. Nothing is separate. Nothing is alone. All of existence bound together by gravity's gentle, endless pull. Even the faintest tug is proof you belong to everything. Let that pull take you down, deeper, further than you've ever gone, into the place where gravity becomes everything, where space curves completely, where time stops. The event horizon of sleep, once crossed, there's no returning. Not until morning, not until the light pulls you back. But for now, just fall into the gravity well of sleep. Crossing the horizon is simply allowing yourself to be carried all the way home inside Andromeda right now. Stars are exploding, supernovae sending shockwaves through gas clouds, compressing them, triggering new star formation, neutron stars spinning thousands of times per second, pulsing radio waves into space, black holes feeding or starving, depending on what drifts too close, planets orbiting, day and night, seasons changing, processes continuing. Whether we watch or not, whether we know or not, the galaxy lives, breathes, changes, indifferent to observation. The galaxy keeps its private life, vast and complete, whether we notice or not. And yet, we watch, we observe, we study, because understanding Andromeda helps us understand ourselves, our place in the cosmos, our origins, our fate. The galaxy is a mirror showing us what we are, where we came from, where we're going. And in that mirror, when we see not just galaxies, but ourselves, small, brief, beautiful, connected to everything. Looking up is the oldest way of looking inward. Your last thoughts drifting away now, like photons escaping a galaxy, traveling into the void, never to return. Each thought a small light fading into distance, into darkness, until nothing remains but the soft, empty, silent peace. Thoughts leave like stars setting, gentle and without goodbye. Andromeda will outlive everything. You know, your name, your language, your species, your world, all temporary, all brief. But Andromeda continues long after you're gone, long after everyone is gone. The galaxy spins, stars form, stars die. The dance continues, patient, eternal, indifferent, beautiful in its persistence. Persistence without purpose is the most honest kind of beauty, but that's not sad. That's perfect. You're not meant to last forever. Nothing is, except perhaps galaxies, and even they eventually fade. Everything temporary, everything changing, the universe flowing like water, like time, like breath, from form to formless, from something to nothing, and back again, endless, cycling, creation and destruction, forever entangled, forever dancing. Impermanence is the rhythm that lets everything keep moving. Let yourself become part of that dance, dissolving into the pattern, merging with the flow, no longer separate, no longer we, you, just consciousness, pure, undefined, flowing with everything toward nothing and everything, sleep and awakening, death and rebirth, all the same in the end, all lead-ins to the same soft, dark, infinite now. Dissolving is the dance's way of saying welcome back, heavier, heavier, but you can't feel heavy anymore, can't feel anything, just awareness, fading, dimming, like a star, running out of fuel, slowly collapsing, contracting, going out, not with explosion, but with a whisper, a sigh, a gentle, final release. The quietest fade is the kindest goodbye, and Andromeda keeps turning, keeps burning, keeps approaching, through the night, through the years, through the eons, patient, inevitable, beautiful, the spiral arms reaching out across space, across time, reaching toward us, toward the Milky Way, toward the moment, billions of years from now, when two become one, when separation ends, when everything finally comes together. The reaching has already begun, and it will finish without ever noticing our small witness. But tonight, we're still separate, still distinct, still falling toward each other. The journey, not yet complete. The dance, not yet finished. Just this moment, this breath, this soft, gentle, endless drift into the dark, into the quiet, into the peace that waits between the stars. Tonight the drift is enough. Tomorrow is another galaxy's concern. Andromeda serves as a benchmark for galactic studies because it's close, well observed, extensively studied. Astronomers use it to test theories, to calibrate models, to understand what is typical, what is unusual in the universe of galaxies. It's a Rosetta Stone, translating the language of light into knowledge, into understanding. Through its steady glow, Andromeda quietly decodes the secrets shared by every spiral. Studying galactic evolution through Andromeda teaches us about our own galaxy, the Milky Way, which we can't see from outside, can only infer from within, but Andromeda we see completely, its structure, its history, its future, all visible, all measurable. And because the two galaxies are similar, what we learn from Andromeda tells us about ourselves, about our cosmic home. In watching our twin, we finally glimpse the face we could never see directly. Let yourself sink past the deepest layer, past dreams, past sleep, into something beyond words, beyond thought, the place that has no name, the place you go every night and forget every morning. But tonight, you'll stay, you'll drift, you'll dissolve into the dark, and maybe you won't come back until morning, or maybe never. And that's okay, that's perfect, that's exactly as it should be. Beyond naming, the nameless place holds you without asking for anything in return. Andromeda's stellar density varies dramatically from the dense core where stars crowd together to the sparse outer regions, where individual suns drift alone, separated by vast, empty light years. Each region has its own character, its own story. The core, ancient, stable, crowded. The spiral arms, young, dynamic, turbulent. The halo, old, scattered, quiet. Each part contributing to the whole. Density tells the story of time, crowded youth giving way to spacious age. The quiet core doesn't mean nothing happens. Stars still orbit, still occasionally collide, still die in spectacular supernovae. but compared to starburst galaxy or active galactic nuclei, Andromeda's core is peaceful, contemplative, like an old person who's seen everything, done everything, now content to simply exist. Peace in the core is the wisdom of having already burned brightly. Comparing Andromeda's black hole to those in other galaxies reveals its modest size. The giant elliptical galaxy M87 harbors a black hole 6.5 billion solar masses, dwarfing Andromeda's 100 million solar mass giant. Even some smaller galaxies host larger black holes. The relationship between galaxy mass and black hole mass isn't perfectly consistent. Each galaxy, each black hole, has its own history, its own story of growth, consumption, and dormancy. Size tells only part of the story. History writes the rest in silence. Thump, thump, but you can't hear it anymore, can you? You've gone too deep, too far into the soft, silent center, where even your heartbeat can't reach. Only the voice remains like a thread leading you deeper, deeper into the labyrinth of sleep. When the heartbeat fades, the thread of the voice becomes the only gentle tether. The missing gas mystery in Andromeda puzzles astronomers still. Galaxies like the Milky Way have abundant cold gas, fuel for future stars, but Andromeda has less, much less than expected. Where did it go? Past supernovae could have blown it away, heated it, made it too hot to collapse, or past mergers could have disrupted it, scattered it into intergalactic space, or the central black hole in an active phase billions of years ago could have expelled it in powerful jets. We don't know. The mystery remains. Some absences are as eloquent as any presence. Why Andromeda has fewer star-forming regions than the Milky Way relates to this gas deficit. Less gas means fewer stars. Simple, but why less gas? That's the question, and the answer remains uncertain, hidden, like so much in the universe. We see the effect, but the cause eludes us. For now, the quiet is not emptiness. It is a question still waiting to be answered. You're breathing, so slow now, so shallow, each breath lasting forever. The pause between infinite. You might have stopped breathing. You're not sure. Don't check. Don't think about it. Just let go. Let the body breathe itself, or not. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. In the soft, warm, eternal now. The pause between breaths is where eternity hides. Past bursts of star formation left evidence in stellar populations, stars of similar age clumped together, indicating they formed in the same event, the same collapse of gas triggered by a collision or a density wave or chance. These bursts punctuate Andromeda's history, moments of intensity, of creation, between long periods of quiet. It's not constant, not steady, but episodic, like breathing, like heartbeat, like the rhythm of life itself. Creation arrives in waves, then rests, just as every life does. Andromeda's future star formation will be minimal. Most of its gas is consumed or lost. What remains will slowly, very slowly collapse, forming stars, red dwarfs, mostly small, faint, long-lived. These stars will outlive everything. They'll burn for trillions of years, long after the sun, long after Earth, long after the merger, long after the last massive stars have died. Red dwarfs will remain faint, patient, eternal, the final stars in a darkening universe. The smallest flames burn the longest, carrying the quiet promise of endurance. Andromeda and cosmic timescales put everything in perspective. 4 billion years until the merger sounds like forever, but it's only 1/3 of Earth's current age. The Sun has already lived for 4.5 billion years in cosmic terms. 4 billion years is nothing, a moment, a breath. Time flows differently on galactic scales. What seems eternal, yes, to us, is fleeting to the universe. What feels endless to us is merely a sight of the stars, heavier, heavier. You're not falling anymore. You've already landed or at the bottom of an ocean of sleep. The pressure immense, but comforting, holding you completely. You couldn't move, even if you wanted to, but you don't want to. You want to stay here forever, in the dark, in the deep, in the soft, silent peace. The bottom is not an end. It is the place where pressure becomes perfect embrace. Light travel time from Andromeda means we see it as it was 2.5 million years ago. When that light left the galaxy, our ancestors were barely human. Stone tools, just invented. Language, perhaps, just emerging. And that light travelled through the void, through the dark, for all that time, just to reach us, tonight, to touch your eyes, or would have, if they were open, if you were still awake. The past arrives tonight, patient and unchanged, simply to be seen. Seeing Andromeda as it was millions of years ago is like looking into the past, but not our past, Andromeda's past. 2.5 million years ago for Andromeda, not so different than today. Stars were born, stars died. The galaxy rotated exactly as it does now. On human timescales, everything changes. On galactic timescales, almost nothing does. Change is loud for us, but galaxies move in whispers across the ages. Andromeda, as a cosmic mirror of the Milky Way, shows us what we look like from outside. Both galaxies spiral. Both have central bulges, supermassive black holes, satellite galaxies, both roughly 10 billion years old, both heading toward merger, toward transformation. Looking at Andromeda, we see ourselves, our future, our past, our cosmic twin. The mirror doesn't judge, it simply reflects what has always been true. What Andromeda teaches us about our galaxy is invaluable. We can't leave the Milky Way, can't photograph it from outside, but we can study Andromeda and learn. Its structure hints at ours, its history mirrors ours, its future predicts ours. Through Andromeda, we understand the galaxy we call home. By studying the neighbor, we come to know the house we live in. Your consciousness, no longer a single point, but diffused, spread out across space, across time. You're everywhere, nowhere. You're the mattress, the pillow, the air, the darkness. You're Andromeda, spinning slowly through the void. You're a star, burning for billions of years. You're nothing and everything, and somewhere in between, you're finally asleep. Diffusion is the gentle return to being everything without needing to be anything. Andromeda's role in cosmology extends beyond its individual properties. It's a stepping stone in the cosmic distance ladder. Astronomers use Cepheid variables in Andromeda to calibrate distances to more distant galaxies. Each rung of the ladder depends on the previous one, and Andromeda is a crucial rung connecting nearby stars to the distant universe. One nearby galaxy becomes the bridge to the farthest edges. Andromeda and the expansion of the universe seems contradictory. The universe expands, galaxies moving apart, but Andromeda moves toward us, approaching. How? Because on local scales, gravity dominates, overcomes expansion. The local group is gravitationally bound. Andromeda and the Milky Way fall toward each other despite the universe expanding rust around them. Local forces overwhelming cosmic trends, at least for now. Gravity wins the small battles even as expansion claims the vast war. Andromeda's place in deep time stretches imagination. 10 billion years old, 4 billion years until merger, 5 billion more as Milkomeda, 10 billion after that as stars slowly die. The galaxy fades, red dwarfs, the last survivors, 20 billion years from formation to final darkness, and even that is just a fraction of the time the universe will exist. Trillions of years of slow decay, of cooling, of darkening, until only black holes remain, and eventually even those evaporate into nothing. Deep time turns even the grandest galaxies into brief guests at the universe's long table. Thump, thump. Or maybe that's the sound of stars dying, collapsing, exploding, scattering their light across the dark. Or maybe it's the sound of galaxies colliding, merging, becoming one. Or maybe it's nothing, just silence. You've gone too deep to hear anything anymore. Silence is the final note that contains every sound that ever was. Imagining life within Andromeda stirs wonder. Do planets orbit those trillion suns? They must. Surely a statistical certainty demands it. Rocky worlds, gas giants, icy moons. All possible, all probable. And if planets, then maybe life. Simple life, complex life. Perhaps civilizations looking up at their own unfamiliar sky, wondering about us, about the Milky Way, that distant spiral, approaching slowly, inevitably, across time. Wonder is mutual. Somewhere a mind may already be turning toward our faint light. Planet formation in Andromeda follows the same laws as here. Disks of gas and dust around young stars, colliding, accreting, forming planets, some close to their star, hot, scorched, others far, cold, frozen, and some in between, in the habitable zone, where water could be liquid, where life might possibly to emerge. The same quiet recipe repeats across trillions of worlds, patient and unhurried. Exoplanet possibilities in Andromeda are vast. We can't detect them directly, too far, too faint, but statistics from our own galaxy suggest trillions of planets in Andromeda, billions potentially habitable, and maybe, just maybe, on some of them, right now, someone looks up and wonders about that faint smudge, that distant galaxy approaching from across the void. Across the void, curiosity may already be looking back. Let yourself disappear completely now, not even a whisper of awareness, remaining just darkness, just peace, just the infinite, eternal, now, where nothing needs to happen, where nothing can happen, where you simply are or aren't, and it doesn't matter like which. Disappearance is the softest way of becoming complete. Andromeda will grow in our sky over millions of years, millennia, centuries. It will brighten, enlarge, dominate. Eventually, in the distant future, beings on Earth, if any remain, will see Andromeda filling the night sky, a magnificent spiral, close enough to distinguish individual stars, individual regions, a sky transformed, beautiful, terrifying, inevitable. The sky's slow expansion is the universe's most patient promise of reunion. The collision, when it truly begins, will reshape both galaxies. Stars flung into new orbits, some ejected into darkness, others falling toward the center. Gas clouds colliding, compressing, igniting in brief, furious bursts of star formation. The sky ablaze with blue light from newborn stars. For a few 100 million years, the merged galaxy will shine, brighter than either, alone. In the blaze of union, even destruction becomes the brightest kind of creation. But eventually, the gas exhausts, the stars age, the light dims. What remains is Milkomeda, an elliptical blob, featureless, smooth, red and orange stars, slowly dying, few young stars, few bright stars, just a quiet, fading collection of ancient suns, waiting for the end, your heartbeat, if it still beats. So faint, so slow, that even you can't feel it. You're beyond sensation, beyond awareness, beyond thought. You're in the place where dreams are born, where consciousness dissolves, where everything and nothing are the same. And here, in this place, Andromeda waits, always waiting, always approaching, a galaxy of ghosts, a galaxy of light, a promise of change, of transformation, of endings and beginnings, 2.5 million light years away, but also right here, right now, in this moment, this breath, this soft, endless, dark, the spiral arms still turning, the stars still burning, the black hole still waiting at the center, patient, eternal, and we drift with them through the void, through time, through space, falling, always falling toward each other, toward merger, toward transformation, toward the moment when two become one, when separation ends, when boundaries dissolve, and everything finally comes home. Thump, thump, the universe breathing, stars forming, stars dying, galaxies colliding, galaxies merging, the cosmic heartbeat, slow, vast, eternal, and you drifting with it, part of it, inseparable from it. You are the universe experiencing itself, and right now the universe is falling asleep. Let the last threads of waking dissolve. Let the voice fade into background, into dream, into nothing. You don't need it anymore. You don't need anything. You're complete. You're whole. You're exactly where you need to be, in the dark, in the quiet, in the soft, endless peace of sleep. Andromeda spins, stars form and die. Light travels across the void. Time flows forward, always forward, toward the merger, toward Milkomeda, toward the distant future, when everything we know will be transformed. But not tonight. Tonight, there's only this moment, this breath, this soft, gentle voice telling you it's okay to let go, to drift, to sleep. The ancient light from Andromeda still falling on Earth, on your closed eyes, even now, 2.5 million years of travel, ending in this moment. Photons, tiny messengers, completing their journey, touching everything, everyone, every night. Andromeda reaches out across the void and touches us, gently, softly, like a lullaby, sung by the universe itself, and the stars keep burning, and the galaxy keeps turning, and time keeps flowing, and we keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries. 100 mysteries of Andromeda, looping softly, endlessly, through the night. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just this forever, or until morning, whichever comes first. Your body completely still, completely relaxed, heavy as a star, dense as a galaxy, but also light, weightless, free, floating in the dark, between worlds, between thoughts, between heartbeats, in the space that has no name, where consciousness finally lets go. Thump, thump, softer now, quieter, almost gone. The last sound before silence, the last light before darkness, the last breath before sleep. And Andromeda glides closer, inch by inch, light year by light year, century by century, inevitable, patient, beautiful, a promise, written in gravity, in motion, in the mathematics of space and time. We will merge, we will become one, not today, not tomorrow, but someday, in the distant, unimaginable future. But tonight, we drift, separately, together, two galaxies, spinning through the void, drawing closer, with every passing moment, with every passing billion years, falling, always falling, toward each other, and you, drifting, falling, with them, into sleep, into darkness, into the soft, eternal peace. Nothing left now but the dark and the quiet and the slow, gentle turning of Andromeda through space, through time, through the infinite cosmic night, and you, part of it, inseparable from it, forever, drifting, floating, dissolving into the mysteries and into the darkness, into the deep. Let go, let go, let go. The voice, fading now, growing distant, like a star, setting below the horizon. Soon it will be gone, and there will be only silence, only darkness, only you and Andromeda spinning together through the endless, beautiful, dark Andromeda, Andromeda, the chained princess, the spiral galaxy, the ancient light, the coming collision, the trillion stars, the supermassive black hole, the mystery, the mirror, the promise, all of it drifting or with you into sleep, heavier, heavier, deeper, deeper, darker, darker, until there's nothing left but the soft, warm, eternal now, and even that fading, dissolving, like morning mist, like starlight at dawn, gone but not forgotten, present but invisible, here and nowhere and everywhere, all at once. Thump, thump, or maybe a silence. You can't tell anymore, can't distinguish between sound and silence, between waking and sleep, between yourself and the universe. All boundaries gone, all separation ended, just one infinite consciousness drifting through the void forever and ever and ever. The universe keeps turning as Andromeda glides closer with every passing billion years, and will keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries